Hello, this video presentation will show you how to submit a Notice of Intent or NOI application for the Multi-Sector General Permit known as the MSGP. The NOI application is submitted in TCEQ's online e-permitting system called STEERS. The No Exposure Certification or NEC application under the MSGP is very similar to the NOI, so this video will be helpful to customers submitting the NEC as well. To get to the STEERS webpage, go to the TCEQ homepage, which can be found at www.tceq.texas.gov. Scroll down to the bottom left of the page. Under the heading Online Services, select e-permitting (STEERS), which in this presentation is highlighted in a red box. Throughout the rest of the presentation, there will be red boxes that highlight the information discussed. After you click on e-permitting STEERS, you'll be taken to the STEERS homepage. Log in to your STEERS account using your ER account number and password. If you have not created a STEERS account, under the STEERS login, it states, I need. Below that, click Create a new account, which is highlighted in red. If you need help creating an account, you can follow the TCEQ YouTube video, How to Set Up an Account in STEERS. Or you can find instructions in Regulatory Guide 531A titled A Guide to Creating an Account in STEERS. If you previously had a STEERS account and it has been archived, email the STEERS help desk at steers@tceq.texas.gov or call the STEERS helpline at 512-239-6925 to have your account reactivated. After you have logged into your STEERS account, you will need to designate Stormwater General Permits as your program area. If you already have Stormwater General Permits designated as your program area, you can skip ahead in the video to when we begin to fill out the application. To set Stormwater General Permits as your program area, on the STEERS homepage in the top center portion of the screen, select My Account. On the next screen, it will show your account summary. Below that is a box labeled STEERS Access. In that box, you will need to select your STEERS program to add or modify. Next to Select Program to Add or Modify, click the drop-down. After you click the drop-down, all of the program areas that you can select will appear. Select Stormwater General Permits, (EPR_SW), then select Go. On the next screen, you will need to select your access type. In the drop-down next to Access Type, you will see different access types and the functions allowed by each type. In order to select Stormwater Sign as your access type, you must meet signatory authority, which is explained in Rule 30, Texas Administrative Code 305.44. Select the appropriate access type, and then answer the remaining questions on this page. Then select Save Changes. After selecting Save Changes, if all the information entered was correct, a message should appear in red at the top of the page stating, "Your EPR_SW access has been updated." The program status has been updated. However, the account is still in probationary status. You will need to now sign a STEERS Participation Agreement, or SPA. At the top of the page, there are two options for SPA. The eSign SPA can be used if the user has a valid Class C Texas driver's license. If the applicant does not have a valid Texas driver's license, or has a valid Texas driver's license, but it is not a Class C license, then the paper SPA can be used. For this account setup, we will use eSign SPA. Select eSign SPA in the top right corner of the screen. On the eSign page, the applicant will verify the account information is correct. The applicant will then read the conditions of using the STEERS account on the rest of the page. At the bottom of the eSign page, the applicant will sign electronically using personal information. The applicant will need to read and check both boxes on the statements at the bottom, and then select eSign SPA. If the information entered was correct, after signing the SPA, a message will come up saying, "This page confirms the submittal of your electronically signed STEERS participation agreement." Select STEERS Home in the top right corner of the page to begin filling out the application. Select the ePermits program area, Stormwater General Permits, found in the middle of the page. To start a new application, select Fill Out, listed on the page. On the next screen, you will select an application type. Under Multi-Sector General Permit Industrial, select Create an Industrial Notice of Intent application. Then click Next at the bottom of the screen. Now you will begin filling out the application. On the left side of the screen is the task list for this application. Here, the customer can see which steps of the application process have been completed. Tasks that have been completed will be shown as done. The steps that still need to be filled out will be shown as to do. You must follow the order of the task list, and you will not be able to move to the next task until the previous task is listed as done. Once a task is listed as done, your work for that task is saved. The first page of the application is the site information page. If you already have a regulated entity number for your site, you can fill out option 1. If you do not have a regulated entity number, you can scroll down and fill out option 3. For the customer's convenience, any questions with a red asterisk next to them must be answered in order to move on to the next screen. You will see these red asterisks throughout the application. Once you enter the information, select Next at the bottom of the screen. The next screen will take you to the site information page where you can begin to enter the site information. The question icons shown are a link to STEERS help. The customer can select the question mark icon and a new window will open, providing help text to explain what information the STEERS system is requesting. These icons will appear throughout each step of the application process. When you're filling out the application, errors will come up and text either at the top of the screen or next to the missed question. If you fail to fill out a required question, or if the information has a validation error, these errors will come up. After you enter the information, select Next, Save. This screen shows the customer parentheses applicant information and the responsible authority contact for the customer applicant information. Each screen of the application has a timer in the top right corner. If you do not move on to the next screen before the timer runs out, you will be logged out of STEERS and you will have to log back in to continue this application. Once you have entered the correct information for this page, select Next, Save. The next screen will take you to the billing contact page. Enter the contact who will receive billing statements from the TCEQ. Once the correct information is entered, hit Next, Save. The next page will take you to the application contact. If the application contact information is the same as previously entered contact information, you can select a previous contact from the drop-down menu under the question, Same as another contact. This will autofill the application contact questions with information entered for a previous contact. Once the correct information is entered, hit Next, Save. The DMR contact information is requested. DMRs are discharge monitoring reports. Enter the contact information for the person responsible for DMRs at your facility. Again, if the DMR contact information is the same as previously entered information, you can again select a previous contact from the drop-down menu. Once the correct information is entered, select Next, Save. The next screen is the NOI General Characteristics page. For question number 2, you will choose the sector or sectors that apply to your facility. If you need help finding your sector, use the resources on the TCEQ's Assistance Tools for Industrial Stormwater webpage. To choose a sector, find the appropriate sector in the available column. Select the sector and then select the top arrow located in between the two columns. The sector will then be moved to the selected column. If you select the incorrect sector, you can choose the third arrow in between the two columns to move it back to the available column. Some questions, depending on how they are answered, will pull up additional questions. Shown here, question number 8, when answered yes, will pull up an additional question 8.1. When all the information is entered, select Next, Save. The next page will prompt you to Section 1, Outfalls. If you now have additional outfalls, enter the total amount of outfalls at the top of the page and then select Update Total. Additional outfalls will then be added. Similar to the NOI General Characteristics page, on the outfalls page, some questions, depending on how they are answered, will pull up additional questions. When all the correct information is entered, press Next, Save. You have now completed filling out the application. STEERS will take you back to the Activities page. At the bottom of the screen is a table with your application information. Under the status column of the table, it will show the status of the application. After filling out the application, the status should show as ready to sign. To sign the application, the customer will select the empty box under the Select column to pick the appropriate application. The application will then turn blue. The customer will then select the Sign button below the table. If the Sign button does not appear on your web page, your account access type is not allowed to sign the application. However, if you meet signatory authority, you will then need to update your access type to include the ability to sign an application. You can do that by following the instructions at the beginning of the video on adding the program area. After you do that, the Sign button will appear. If you do not meet signatory authority, you will need to have someone with signatory authority use their STEERS account to access the application and sign it. After you select the Sign button, you will now be taken to the signature page. The responsible official will agree to the statements at the top of the page and read all the information on this page in order to electronically sign. At the bottom of the page, the user will enter their ER account password and then click Apply Electronic Signature. After signing the application, the user will be directed to pay for the application. Select Pay Reference Number and then select Next. The application fee in STEERS for a notice of intent and no exposure certification application is $100. If the fee amount indicated in the table is correct, select Next. The next screen will inform the customer that they will next be transferred to ePay, which is TCEQ's payment website. Read the statements and then select Go to ePay. A summary of your shopping cart will be shown. If everything on your screen is correct, select Checkout. After selecting Make Payment, you will then follow the screens to enter your payment information for the application. You can pay with credit card or an electronic transfer fund. We will not show the payment information screens in this video. After your payment has been successfully processed, you will be taken to the ePay transaction confirmation page. It will state that your transaction is complete. However, this is not the last step. You must submit the application in order to obtain coverage under the stormwater permit. Scroll down to the bottom of the screen and select Return to STEERS. You will now submit the application. Select the radio dial next to Submit Reference Number and then select Next. Confirm the application information is correct in the table, then select Submit. After selecting Submit, it may take a minute or two to process. Do not leave this screen and wait for the information to process. You will then be taken to the final screen, which in the top left corner will state "Congratulations." This means you have successfully submitted the application. From this screen, you will be able to view and print your authorization documents. In the table at the bottom of the screen, you will see your authorization documents. There is a copy of record which has all of the information that you filled out in the STEERS application. There's also an approval letter and certificate. You can click the pictogram below each item in the table, and a separate screen, those documents will be opened, and you can print those documents. To find additional resources on the MSGP, check out our Assistance Tools for Industrial Stormwater Permitting webpage by visiting www.tceq.texas.gov/assistance. On the left side of the screen, select Water Compliance Resources. That will take you to our Water Compliance Resources webpage. In the middle of the webpage, select Water Quality. That will take you to this portion of the webpage. Under Stormwater, select Industrial Stormwater General Permit. You have now reached our Assistance Tools for Industrial Stormwater General Permit webpage. You can find tools and resources for the Industrial Stormwater Permit on this webpage. This is the end of this video presentation. Thank you for watching.